channel. It is finally an absolutely gorgeous day here in Central Arkansas. Absolutely no clouds whatsoever. See Patrick up there ahead of me. We are headed down to meet up with some folks from Central Arkansas Corvette Club. We've got to take a cruise up to Mount Magazine. So we'll take you guys along for the ride. Check it out. It's absolutely beautiful. Actually, we've done some video up there before, so you've seen it if you've been on the channel for a while. But so what we're going to do today, so I got my new tires on, and we're going to test those out and see how they go. We'll get a chance to, the ride up the mountain will probably be pretty tame, but hopefully the ride back down we can get a chance to test these tires out. And so we'll kind of walk through, you know, how I feel, I guess the differences are between the AS3s and the Michelin Super Sports that came on the car. And then discovered another problem with my C7 that I got addressed yesterday. We'll talk through that as we go along a little bit later, but we'll see if that fix actually fixed it. So we'll stop and get some gas, and we're gonna head down and meet with those folks, and we'll catch up with you later. All right, so we've gathered everybody up. Got a nice turnout, about 20 cars, which is kind of cool. So we'll try to get some shots of the cars here along the road. But so I had a chance to drive on the wheels, or drive on the tires, and you know, I guess my initial impression is they're soft. They feel softer. I mean, from a standpoint of ride quality-wise, they feel a little softer. One thing they do have, which I'm kind of surprised by, is there's a lot of road noise. And I've been on a couple, 3 different surfaces, and they're pretty noisy. You know, and I know zero pressure, zero pressure tires or that run flats are that way, but there seems to be just quite a bit of noise. But you know, other than that, it's fine. They're good. Still have to address the wheel issue. I did talk to my Chevy dealer yesterday, and GM has not been doing anything with these warranting these wheels, so it's kind of a sad deal. So I got to decide if I want to roll the dice and buy another OEM wheel, or if I want to spend the money and just get an entire set of new wheels. So I gotta figure that out here in the next while. I gotta figure that out soon, because I don't want to be driving too long on a cracked rim. And then back to the tires real quick. We're going to Mount Magazine, and we are so on the way up it'll be kind of slow, but on the way down we'll be able to go hit it hard. So we'll give you a little report on how they feel performance-wise. So we'll give that a shot. Okay, so now for the bad news. I guess the other set of bad news that I got on this car. So I've noticed the last few times I've driven it that there's been a driveline shudder, and I know it's been a problem on lots. You know, I know it's a known problem on these 8-speed automatics that are in the C7s. So what it does is, as you're driving along, just driving along normally, all of a sudden it'll just shudder, and you just feel it shuddering. And I wasn't sure exactly what it was at the time, but it just kept getting worse actually, which was a little concerning. So what I did, obviously I was checking out the forums. I knew this has been a problem on the A8s for a while. So as this thing got on, so I called the Chevy dealer and described the problem to them, and they said, yeah, bring it in. So yesterday they did a transmission flush, and what I'm noticing so far today is that it feels better. It does feel better. The shudder's gone. Feels pretty good. So we're going to hope that takes care of the problem. And we don't have no more further action, because I know some of the guys early on have that problem and actually replaced the torque converter. So, God, traffic is absolutely nuts around here. And of course, it's always these guys got to stay in the fast lane. So hopefully the transmission's taken care of. Like I said, it felt 100 times better. One thing, so I did ask, I called up a friend of mine who was a certified Corvette mechanic, and asked the question. I said, hey, what is the deal with this, and you know, why is this a problem with these cars? And what he told me is the official word from GM is that the transmission fluid actually retains moisture, is what GM says. Now, what he told me, he isn't buying that 100%, because what he told me is that if a transmission gets fluid in it, you need to be replacing gears, clutches, everything else. So what his suspicion is that it's just bad transmission fluid, and the viscosity isn't as good as as these transmissions require. So we'll find out what the deal is. So we're up here with some of these cars. I'm going to get out of the way because some of these guys are just driving like they're nuts, and I'm just going to try to get out of this dude's way that's behind me, because he's a helling with his Dodge, and it looks almost Mad Max-ish. So, and there you go. So hopefully he gets where he's got to get going. So, okay, so we are, like I said, we're cruising along. We're going to Mount Magazine. We're going to make one stop along the way, which we'll film next. It'll be kind of cool. We're honoring a World War II vet, so I'll have more details on that here in a second. But hope you enjoy the ride. So here we are in Havana, Arkansas, and we are honoring World War II veteran Oscar Wyatt. Oscar Wyatt is turning 94 here soon, and we're just doing a drive-through for Oscar to wish him a very happy birthday, thank him for his service, we appreciate it, and many, many more. Pretty cool. That was kind of neat. Just a quick little drive through here, and got the police escort, so we appreciate their help with that. That was pretty awesome. And again, thanks to Oscar. Happy birthday, Oscar. Thank you for your service. We appreciate it. And now we are on our way up to Mount Magazine. All right, so here we are on the way up to Mount Magazine, and I mean, absolutely just gorgeous scenery. It's just hard to describe it unless you're here. The bad part with this is that there's a lot of people out. So we are got a blistering pace of 33 miles an hour because there's lots of traffic out here. There's about bicycles. So hopefully on the way down, I'll take a different route on the way down. We can get opportunity to test out these tires, but we'll give you a little bit of this view and on the way up. Alright, so here we are. We had some lunch and we met up with this Hmong Corvette group, USA. They are out of, well, they had some guys from Minnesota, guys from Arkansas, guys from Wisconsin, and guys from Arkansas that were here. So they were here, and they had some pretty sweet cars. So I got some pictures of those guys that we'll post on our Instagram page. But had a great lunch. We're getting ready now. We're going to go hit the roads, and hopefully get some POV shots for you of as we check out these new tires. Alright, so here we are headed down the mountain. See how my new hat works. This is actually a great drive, beautiful road, and hopefully we get a chance to test out these tires and see how they work. But we'll just kind of keep this thing rolling a little bit. If it's worth darn, we'll get some scenery anyway, and hopefully get some decent riding along the way. Hey, okay, so scratch that. As I was editing this, I realized that the drive down the mountain was really pretty boring. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go out, it's morning time, we're gonna go out and we're gonna hit some roads and check out these tires and check out the transmission and make sure everything sounds good. So I wanted to, yeah, just wanted to change that up because the drive down the mountain was super slow, super boring. It doesn't really tell me anything about the handling of the tires or how the car was working with the new transmission flush. So come on and join me. Do is we're trying to test out obviously the tires and also the transmission. One thing I noticed with the transmission before is that in driving in corners and stuff, as I was trying to downshift, it just seemed a little sloppy. So we'll see if that got cleaned up with the transmission flush, and we'll see how these tires do. So not too bad. I think the transmission, it feels a little better. It's still, you know, I don't know, I guess maybe I'm tainted with the new dual clutch, haven't been in that, but it feels a little better. It feels like the downshifts are a little crisper, the upshifts are a little better. So all in all, I think we're in good shape. Tires feel pretty good. They, you know what, I wasn't even anywhere near the limit, but I did feel it slip a little bit on one of those corners. We'll check this one out, but I felt it slip a little bit. So I don't know. Yeah, obviously they're not gonna be as good as the Super Sports or Cup 2s, but you know, we'll see how time goes on. But they're I think they'll work pretty good for most of what we're doing here. Just as well try out launch control just because we're here, right? Yeah, that works pretty good too. I think we're in good shape. Alright, so there we go. I had a fun little drive this morning, got to check out the tires. Tires are okay. They don't, here's what I'll say, they don't instill the confidence that the Super Sports had, but they are still going to be pretty good. We'll see. I didn't hit it super hard today, so you know, we'll have to see when we get a little closer to the limit. Transmission feels fine. Downshifts are a little more crisp, upshifts are a little more crisp, but we're in good shape on the transmission. So that's all we got for today. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. We've got a lot more coming up later. Thanks. Have a great day.